Welcome to One Brooklyn, presented by Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. On this edition of One Brooklyn, Brooklyn Borough President Adams heads to Brownsville, and he brings with him top New York City officials and the New York City Deputy Mayor for the Brownsville Neighborhood Innovation Lab press conference. The Brownsville area is in need of an economic boost so it can create jobs and innovation and prepare for the future. And the people of the neighborhood must be empowered to compete in the new economy. That's why the Borough President was proud to announce the launch of NYCx, Brownsville CoLab, which will invite entrepreneurs from around the world, startup companies, and leading experts to make the city and Brownsville a testing ground for groundbreaking ideas and new technologies.
Making it out here. We are here for three things. We are going to make some exciting announcements about some technology initiatives in Brownsville that we have worked on with many of you in recent months. We are also here to invite ongoing participation from Brownsville's residents, from NYCx residents, on some of this upcoming work that we have. And we are here to showcase some of the best of Brownsville, as we always take the opportunity to do. So with that, I'm going to introduce Oreo from the BCJC music program, Sounds of Brownsville. Please join us.
Hello, hello. Hello? Okay. Hey guys. Alright. So should I go here? Yeah.
So, but I was born in this world to be. What's up, guys?
What's up?
It's Ori in the building. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah. Take the dirt off my shoulder. Quit the playing it's over. I was born in this world to be the best you discover. Aiming for nothing but better. Through his grace I grew clever. You can hate me, whatever. I'll keep it moving. I'm goody. Stay on top with this music. You just mad I'm exclusive. Keep it sweet, simple, stupid, but like no other one's vision. I give you all my attention through the nights. I be venting. I'm on my way to my session. My trippy nights, trippy questions. I'm fresh. I rock with. I'm rapping as I rap. They be tripping. My status. How did I mention? Cause when I pop, who they checking? At my door they be knocking. You know me, I get to poppin'. Future bright. I don't play. Come to my shows, I get cracked. Success is good fortune pay. I know I'm blowing you away. Too real, I'm dead in your face. Oh yeah, they calling my name. Yo, I'm really about to pop up in the spot. I call the shots. I am your girl and your rock. Never back against the wall. You see, I rock and roll the world. Universal, I'm universal. I'm universal. I'm universal. This is my one claim to fame. The whole world chanting my name. I'm universal. I'm universal. I'm universal. I'm universal. This is all that I need. What's too real hard to breathe? I live that life you can see. Not going back history. Patience, my humbleness is the key. I will be taking it further. Gotta be vicious in me. See me rolling, I got this on the way to the scene. Oreo out the hood, Oreo getting green. Gotta go hard for kill to make you hear me for real. See me up, I'm on sight, laying low, moving right. You know that I'ma go get it. You know that I'ma go get it. When it comes to my cheddar, too dope, you know that I'm ballin'. If you whack, then I'm snoring videos and I'm touring. Get the guap, till she's scoring too lit. I'm high in the morning, no sleep. I'm just getting started. Feel a beat, go retarded, beat got bass, rock and rollin'. Here, take a pic, camera rollin'. Look at my face, hear me flowing. I'm showing different emotions. I'm a wreck. Can't you notice? Too high, you better stay focused. You see, I rock and roll the world. I'm universal. I'm universal. I'm universal. This is my one claim for fame. The whole world chanting my name. I'm universal. I'm universal. I'm universal. I'm universal. Hey, get crazy in the crowd. I know you wanna jump around. Get crazy in the crowd. I know you wanna jump around. Get crazy in the crowd. Yeah, jump around. Get crazy in the crowd. I know you wanna jump around. Oreo.
Thank you. Thank you. Give it up for the for Oreo. I would like to offer an opportunity to some of the youngest technologists in Brownsville. I'd like to call up the young innovators of the BCJC Tech Lab program to share with us a little bit about the project that they've been working on. This is really meant to set the stage for the fact that Brownsville is already producing some really interesting technology, and the young people are going to tell you about something that they've been building over the summer. I'm Ray from the BCJC's Tech Lab, and I'm here with my team. I can come over here. I don't know if it's space, but I would like to thank the Mayor's Office for Technology and Innovation for allowing us to, have this. And what else? Oops, I'm mad nervous. I'm sorry. James could talk more about the lab's importance and what we do and like what the app is about and everything.
All right, hello, my name is James Jones. I've been working with the lab for about 8-9 months now. And what we really do at the lab is use like this transversal technology to try to stop the violence and things that's happening around in Brownsville by just promoting a game that can make people even more happy instead of fighting and doing things to prove Brownsville is better than just fighting and what gets represented in the news. And for the app company, we have Adrian.
Also, we're looking to innovate and look for new ways to solve problems through technology. Like, for example, there are a lot of young entrepreneurs inside of Brownsville that, and artists as well, that don't have the platform to show their talent. So this app is going to be like a baseline for it. So it's going to be starting out with a clothing line. One of the guys who started it, he's not here with us today, but his is called the Morale Project. Basically, he has his own online store where he sells his clothing. And the app is for people who can't afford a real space. So it's a virtual store. And the goal is ownership through the community. So we're hoping that if people can't afford, their own stores, that others can go online and buy their stuff. And we hope that they have enough money to own the actual spaces that their QR codes are outside of, which you can access through the app.
We're using the app as a way to reactivate the spaces up and down Belmont, and we basically want to take back what's ours. It's in our neighborhood, so why not use the space that we already have rather than have someone from outside the community come in and do the same things that we could do. And we're young, so we feel like we should use these skills and add it to our tool belt of a bunch of skills that we could use, and hopefully going into life teaching others these skills and use these skills to use these skills to further and enhance ourselves and upgrade and just do bigger and better things outside of our community. And the app is the way to start. And we have a kiosk back there with VR headset and everything. So if anyone wants to check it out, it's over there. One more round of applause for the young people of Brownsville. I think the key themes there that really strike me are, and what this is really about is technology playing a role in neighborhood development and creating economic opportunity, and talk about ownership, local ownership. So thank you so much for bringing those themes up in the technology work that you all are working on. I would like to invite the City of New York's Chief Technology Officer, Miguel Gamino, to kick us off with the program.
Thank you. It's a great day to be back in Brownsville. And I want to thank one more time the young folks, Brownsville Community Justice Center and Oreo for the performance. Give another round of applause for that. So it's great to be back here. I was in Brownsville not that long ago when we kicked off this, or we had an event here at this place. And so it's great to be back, see some familiar faces. Mary Tobin, Clinton Dyer, Layne, Dwayne, and the rest of the Brownsville Tech Advisory Board, who've been fantastic community partners throughout this whole process. I really want to give them a shout out and a round of applause. Thank you. You know, when I was thinking about coming here, I really wanted to wear my Made in Brownsville t-shirt that I got from Cordine last time. But the rest of my schedule had dress codes attached to it, so you got this version of it. But I really love what's happening here in Brownsville and love being having an opportunity to be part of it. And all that is in large part due to our sponsors and supporters and partners. So shout out to EDC, CUSP, DOT, Department of Sanitation, Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice, and NYCx for all the work and effort they've put into this. So round of applause for them. A couple quick things too. I'd like to take the advantage of being up here to share with you. We're thrilled to talk a little bit about something called NYCx that we launched just last week. And there's many elements to the NYCx program that are intended to transform the way we as local government and community engage with industry to change the way that technology is shaped to promote our values and strengthen our communities in a way that creates more inclusiveness and creates more equity and creates more access to opportunity in all parts of New York City, in all 5 boroughs. And part of that, a big part of that, is establishing the Tech Leadership Council in a way that's never been accomplished anywhere else on earth, frankly, much less the United States or even in this city. And the reason that that's so different is we're bringing together tech pioneers and luminaries, visionaries, with community partners, community voices, with community leaders like Russell Simmons. And speaking of Russell, I want to give a shout out because his team is here today live streaming this event on Facebook Live. So it helps bring attention to the good work that's happening here in Brownsville to benefit all New Yorkers. So we want to thank Russell and Brother Hassan for helping spread the good word. So thank you. Another major part of this program is neighborhood-based, and all of that started right here in Brownsville. What was the Neighborhood Innovation Labs we're now calling NYCx Co-Labs. And the Co-Labs are intended to accelerate the community engagement with tech and government to address the neighborhood's most pressing needs in a way that includes the neighborhood in that process. And the outcome of this initial phase was establishing 2 challenges that we're announcing today that were identified as priorities of this neighborhood. Those are Zero Waste and Shared Spaces Challenge and the Safe and Thriving Nighttime Corridors Challenge to open the community corridors in a way that people feel safe and engaged to participate in. And that came from the conversations and the efforts that started in this community that identified those as the priorities that we should be focused on. And now we use our convening power to bring technology to bear to help forward those efforts. So finalists will be chosen in early 2018 and each awarded $20,000 to build and test their solutions right here in Brownsville, Brooklyn. So in addition to those exciting announcements about the challenges, we're also excited to share that we'll be expanding the CoLab process or the CoLab environment to all 5 boroughs starting the beginning of next year. So if that sounded like a lot of work achieved by the city and this neighborhood, it's because it was. And that progress doesn't happen without a lot of really important support from city leadership. And so with that, I'd like to not only introduce, but thank Deputy Mayor for Housing and Economic Development, Alicia Glenn, and Borough President Eric Adams, who will say a few words about today's announcement and what it means for Brooklyn and all New Yorkers.
Thank you so much, Miguel. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I have to say, this is a lot better than my usual afternoon in City Hall. That woman rapper was pretty excellent. Is she gone? Where'd she go? That was really brave of you to stand up in the middle of the day and do that. You're great. So thank you all for coming out here today. I really wanted to just say this is an amazing day for Brownsville, but it's really part of something much bigger, what's going on in New York right now, right? I mean, we are at the sort of beginning of the next tech revolution. And the question is, what are we going to do about it? And how are we going to make that part of all New York neighborhoods and for all New Yorkers? And so the work that's going on here is incredible. The tech economy is 350,000 jobs, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the question is, who's going to fill those jobs, right? We don't want those to be kids who are coming from outside of New York. We want those jobs to be for our kids. And to do that, you have to start early, and you have to figure out every single way that you can attack a problem. And so the fact that these guys are already working on all these cool different apps and know how to code is just extraordinary, because they're going to wind up being the people who run Google, who run Facebook. I don't want to go to one more meeting about diversity in the sector. I want the sector to be diverse, because all these kids wind up starting amazing companies. And in order to do that, you have to do things like NYCx. So it's amazing to me that we're able to get all these kids involved in solving real-time challenges, right? Whether it's making the garbage get picked up faster, lessening pollution, how we can clean up our streets, how we can get better street retail. These are all amazing things for people to be involved in their neighborhoods, but there's also hopefully a silver lining to it, right? They get the skills they need to go and build great companies and make money and participate in this new round of the economy. So this is something incredibly important to Mayor de Blasio. We've been working on this since the day we walked into office. It's a 5-borough economy, it's a 5-borough tech hub, and I'm so happy that this team and this set of partners came together today. And I thank you for letting us be part of it, because it's really all about your future and making sure that it's a city that really works for everybody. And so I'm really lucky. I often am lucky to come to Brooklyn, even though I'm a Manhattan girl, that I get to then be able to say, the other great thing you have going for you in Brooklyn is by far the best, the smartest, the coolest, and the most caring borough president I've certainly ever come along. My friend and your borough president, Eric Adams.
Thank you so much, Deputy Mayor, and really we also have the Sanitation Commissioner, Commissioner Garcia is here, and just the entire team. Let me say this, as I crisscross the borough, and oftentimes when I come back, here to a community that I was born in, and people often say that why do we have to wait until a community is gentrified before we have some of the nice things that are brought into a community. And this mayor just gets it. And my conversations with him this week, City Hall in the borough, you're going to have the deputy mayors that are going to be right here in Brownsville, not scattered out in other parts. They all are one at a time going to spend time here in Brownsville to hear your concerns. Tomorrow, we're having a town hall that I am co-hosting with the council person that's going to be here in Brownsville. The rest of Brooklyn, we lost it. It has been gentrified, and many people who are waking up to gunshots and not alarm clocks, they could no longer afford to live in that community. Brownsville, let's get it right. Let's make sure that we do things that would ensure that the professionals who leave here to go away to school can come back and show their skills and knowledge to show how Brownsville can grow. Brownsville never ran, never will. Let's not run from technology. Let's not run from prosperity. Let's not run from home ownership. Let's show how we can do it right in Brownsville. And here's a great opportunity to do so. And trust me, I know the feeling that many people have that come from Brownsville and East New York and other parts of the city, South Jamaica, Queens. You become jaded after a while. You believe that folks are not going to remain committed to what they say they're going to do. Not while I'm borough president. Trust me on this. We're going to do some great things in technology in Brownsville. Good technology does not only have to be in other parts of this city. We deserve it right here, and it can be done, and that's why we're taking our hat off to the new person that's in charge of technology to ensure the expansion of technologies throughout this entire borough, particularly here in the borough of Brooklyn and particularly here in Brownsville. Brownsville is representative of the entire country, that communities that have been left behind. Liberty City in Miami, Philadelphia, south side of Chicago, Boston, no matter where you go, when you have a predominant group of people of color, they are left behind in some of the new inventions and new technologies. The mayor and I have remained committed that that is not going to happen here in this city. Many of you probably missed the fact. During the presidential election, the first time in the history of a presidential election, you had a presidential candidate walking through Brownsville when Bernie Sanders came here. When they called me and say, hey, can I have your endorsement? Let's have that conversation after you walk through Brownsville. That's what it's about. It's about bringing people to your communities, showing your needs and what your expectations are. We need to raise the bar on what we expect. We want the same quality of life that is seen in other parts of the community. Buildings cannot continue to go up and our hopes and prosperity are going down. That is not the reality that we want to live in. That's not the reality we want to be a part of. That's why this technology is so important. When you start using smart city technologies, you become smarter as residents and smarter communities, and you start to do great things. We're all in this together, from health to education, to employment, to opportunities, to the prosperity. This borough cannot become popular and others don't receive the prosperity that comes with it. That's my promise, that's my commitment. Just a son of Brownsville doing what Brownsville has taught me how to do and what to do. I spent 22 years of my life, folks, wearing a bulletproof vest as a cop, standing on these street corners, protecting the children and families of this city. Doesn't matter if it's in a blue suit, a blue uniform, or a blue pair of jeans. I'm going to continue to be part of what makes Brownsville a great place to raise healthy children and families. Thank you, Brownsville.
One more time for the Borough President and for Deputy Mayor Alicia Glenn. Yeah, this is something special, and I, again, thank you all for coming together for this. We are going to talk about one of the things that is going to be, that we're going to point this tool, technology, towards here in Brownsville. And this framing, this idea for this first challenge called Zero Waste and Shared Space came after, I would say, about 6 months of working back and forth with the Brownsville Community Technology Advisory Board. Many of you are here today. What we decided to attack was, how might we end waste? How might we reduce litter? How might we clean and green Brownsville's public housing? How might we be a part of the solution? And how might we encourage those that are closest to the problem to be part of the solution? So Zero Waste and Shared Space is a call for technology proposals that are meant to reduce litter, that are meant to promote community stewardship of public housing common areas, and that are meant to increase recycling and sustainable practices in public housing, starting with Brownsville houses. So with that, I would like to call up one of Brownsville House's residents, Digna Layne, to share with us a little bit about her own local perspective on this.
Good evening, Brownsville. Now, I know we from Brownsville. We make more noise than that. Good evening, Brownsville. All right, thank you. My name is Digna Layne, and I'm a resident of Brownsville Houses for over 30 years. I raised my children here, and I'd be remiss if I did not say to you, when people talk about Brownsville, they talk about all the crime and all the things that happens, the negative things. I'm here to tell you that I have been collecting names of all the graduates, college graduates who come through Brownsville, and we have lawyers, we have doctors, we have principals, we have social workers, advertising executives, and that's just counting 2 buildings. I would like to acknowledge the Tenants Association for Brownsville Houses, also the management for Brownsville Houses. The youth council is supposed to be here, but they're not. And in addition to that, our graduates from the Green City Force, I saw them, okay, they're here. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with Brownsville Houses, Brownsville Houses is a NYCx development that houses over 1,300 families. We're located in the Brownsville area of Brooklyn. I'm here to speak as a resident in terms of clean, green community and Brownsville Houses. As a tenant, I think it's important for us to do our part in maintaining our development, taking part in implementing changes that will renew our sense of pride. Carrie Scarborough, our president, our TA president, talked about a program that she once did here, which was Be a Good Neighbor. During Be a Good Neighbor, Carrie and a lot of the children in the community will come around with brooms, mops, spray bottles, and start cleaning the building ourselves. That's NYC's job, right? But guess what? When NYC comes and cleans, we come behind and mess up. And we know who our neighbors are that are doing this. So with that being said, we need to start taking ownership of what we have to do and start knocking on somebody doing, hey, you left something out here? You know, things along that line. We also have Saturday workshops right now where the teen centers, the young folks, the young people who come to the teen center are creating different types of instruments out of recycled materials. The Tech Challenge for Zero Waste Share Space takes many issues of waste, public housing opportunities to Brownsville houses and its residents to shape the next generation of clean tech. Some of the things that we would like to see happen in Brownsville houses are the charging stations. Those stations where you're able to charge your cell phone out here just like these benches here. In addition to that, we're hoping to be able to get Wi-Fi and eventually maybe get Wi-Fi for the whole development so we won't have to pay for Wi-Fi, right? That's wishful thinking, right? Clean green technology. Brownsville House is already producing bright young people in this new economy. And I would also like to take time out before I go on to my next part by saying to the mayor's action plan, thank you guys so much. And something, I'm not sure if it was Eric Adams or someone talked about the fact, I think it was Eric Adams who spoke about the fact that sometimes we get promises and it does not deliver. Well, we worked on a project, many of us who are here today worked on a project which was the Mayor's Action Plan for Neighborhood Safety. And we asked for a teen center. And we asked for it because we knew, yeah, you want us to ask, we're not asking for nothing easy because Brownsville, we're gonna ask for what we want. And we were given the teen center, and for this, I would like to thank you for keeping your promise. So can I have a big round of applause for that? Okay, among our residents, you will find some young people, Worrell and Benaya Foster, who are with us today. Andy and Benaya both graduated from Green City Forest last year and now have experience conducting energy audit, carbon monoxide testing, and recycling education. They both are here, they both work full-time now. This community that loves where we live, and we're ready to co-create the future of zero waste. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Digna. Now we would like to introduce two important city officials whose agencies are partnering up on this challenge to share their perspective. Up next is New York City Housing Authority General Manager Michael Kelly. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody. Hey, can we give it up for Miss Layne and all the leadership here at Brownsville and all of our partners. Please, one more time for the leadership, the resident leadership. They are the heart and soul of our successes here. Recognition also to the Borough President, Deputy Mayor, my colleague Kathleen Garcia, the Sanitation Commissioner and Chief Technology Officer. Gamino, thank you so very much for your work here and all of our partners. You know that 1 in 14 New Yorkers call NYCx home. And as such, we take our responsibilities to making this city as clean and sustainable possible very seriously. It's embedded in our next gen plan, our strategic plan for clean, safe, and connected communities. And embedded in that is looking at this particular initiative we're celebrating today, the Mayor's Zero Waste and Shared Space Challenge, and particularly piloted here in Brownsville, a community that has been successful in piloting many of the mayor's initiatives for a cleaner and safer community. It only makes sense that we focus on these challenges. Thank the various technology community that's looking to respond to this. A recognition that NYCx now takes our responsibilities to be part of the clean and green movement very seriously. This is just one part of our efforts. We recognize that clean and healthy buildings include looking at things like clean energy, safe and sustainable construction materials, things like enhanced heating and cooling systems, and most of all, recycling and asset recycling. I want to thank Commissioner Garcia and the work she's done. In 2016, with her assistance, we've installed recycling infrastructure at all of our sites. That's 326 developments now have recycling infrastructure. And we've partnered with the Department of Sanitation and Grow NYC to recruit residents for our Environmental Ambassador Program. As Ms. Layne was talking about, that's really key because we're now looking at these ambassadors working with their neighbors to support the shared vision of recycling and making our communities safer. This is all in many ways about social justice and social equity. It begins at home. I am proud to be a partner in this, looking forward to the successful completion of all this competition. Thank you.
Thank you, General Manager Michael Kelly. Up next is Commissioner Catherine Garcia from the Department of Sanitation to share her agency's perspective on this. Got it.
Thank you so much for having me. And if anyone thinks that anyone in Brownsville isn't using technology, this entire audience seems to have the latest and greatest in iPhones and Samsungs that's pointed at us. But I just want to remind people how quickly this has changed. The iPhone was not invented 10 years ago. It just had its 10th anniversary. We did not have smartphones. We did not know what an app was. And now all of the kids who are growing up today, this is the language that they use. This is the language that they communicate with. So I'm thrilled on behalf of the Department of Sanitation to be participating in today's event and the announcement of the Zero Waste and Shared Space Challenge and to help underwrite that. We have really been working across the city in partnership with NYCx and here in the community to make sure that we are setting very ambitious goals. We are asking the entrepreneurs and innovators in this committee a tough question. How might we get to zero waste and litter in Brownsville's public housing? We know from being out and surveying members of the community that litter and cleanliness is a top priority and that people are really willing to make commitments to achieve it. At the Department of Sanitation, we are not strangers to setting ambitious goals. We have committed to sending zero waste to landfills by 2030. And to reach that, we are rapidly expanding our curbside organics program. Earlier this year, we began curbside organics collection in Brownsville for all residential buildings from 1 to 9 units. We want to make sure everyone is included in meeting our goals to make sure that we are leaving the planet a healthier place for our children. But in order to reach this goal, we know we need to do more, and we really need sort of the excitement and the creativity. Yeah, I'm looking at all you young people over there, and innovation that you can bring to this goal. So across our city, NYCx residential developments are already generating over 300 tons of recyclable material a day. That's keeping it out of the landfill. That's making sure that we're using it for new products. That's making sure that all of our compost is being used at street tree events. So improving recycling rates in public housing is a major component of our zero waste goal. We look forward to seeing scalable solutions that can make recycling easier and more convenient. Thank you, and good luck to the teams that will be submitting their ideas for the challenge. I hope you all win, but good luck.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Thank you so much for that. We are going to share a little bit more about the second challenge that is being issued from Brownsville, which is called Safe and Thriving Nighttime Corridors. All right? So we heard a lot about, in our conversations with community partners, about how much of an opportunity there is to improve the way in which Brownsville's public spaces and sidewalks and streets and plazas function for people both day and night. Right? So we took it as the goal that we want to increase nighttime activity on Belmont Avenue, which is the site for this next for this challenge. So we are giving entrepreneurs all over the world and locally the opportunity to submit, to propose ideas and to propose solutions that can be demonstrated next spring and summer right here on Belmont Avenue to improve the experience of nighttime public spaces here. And the reason this is really connected to the work that's been going on is because, as most of you know, Belmont Avenue is now in a place where there's a lot of entrepreneurship and a lot of opportunity that local businesses are clamoring for in terms of how pedestrian infrastructure supports local economic development. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce James Brodick from the Brownsville Community Justice Center to provide some perspective on this work.
Thank you, Jose. First of all, on behalf of the Justice Center, but most importantly, the young people, I want to welcome everybody to the bandwagon. If you want to be part of winning, this is where you need to be. 3 short years ago, the young people in the Brownsville Community Justice Center decided that Belmont Avenue was a critical piece to the history of this neighborhood. Once upon a time, it was this striving commercial corridor where everybody came to do their shopping, and a place where people moved and things felt great. But as a result, there was a lot of work that needed to be done, and working very closely with the community board, we were able to start to think about what's the first step to taking back a street. And it started with the idea of working with sanitation and just simply cleaning it, making it look better, cleaning it up, painting over graffiti. But then the next step was, how do you beautify it? And you're actually sitting in a space that was created by the young people of Brownsville. Everything from the campaign, our Brownsville Stronger Together campaign, to the mural, to the way the space is activated. So much so that the Department of Transportation not only supported the project, but now long-term is going to turn this into a permanent plaza. Once upon a time, a street that was used for crime-ridden activity is now a place where people hang out, have lunch, talk, and come up with creative ideas. The young people of Brownsville driving the process.
Shout out to the youth that's already making stuff happen. I see them back there in the back. Visit the AR/VR booth back there and see what good stuff they've got cooking up. Shout out to our partners at agencies and in the community. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.